What's up, people? Very late stream. Went to the gym and did some other stuff. I planned on coming back way earlier, obviously. It's 1 o'clock when I quit, or almost 2, but anyway. You know how it is. Life. Things, other things you gotta do. So when we stopped, we had gotten sidetracked into a new task, and that was disabling Pygame code on server side. So we're going through and disabling all this code that was basically dead code. We don't need it on the server side, and yeah, so there's no reason for it to exist, for it to run. It's just a liability. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna just do Control Shift F and I guess I should do Pygame first and then rect. So let's Pygame current, and then we'll do rect, and then I know there's other, like, there's other ones, but I don't know what the other ones are. I'll probably come across them in searching through these. Okay, so draw, highlight, rect. This is only gonna happen on well, let me not assume that. Let's don't assume anything. Current card itself, clickable card list. So this is draw window main, yeah, so this is only gonna be client side. Yeah, all that's only gonna be client side, so we don't have to worry about it. So we go back to our Pygame search. Okay, assign card images and recs. Well, this is one that we actually avoided running. We added in a check for that, so we don't run that all the time. Same thing for assign face down image. Well, this obviously is client side, so we don't have to worry about that. This is, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Screen equals Pygame display. Now this, well, this is when it gets initialized. When we import something that's already been initialized, it doesn't get reinitialized. So if we're importing it on the server side, that's fine. It's not gonna get rerun or whatever. So all this is safe. Okay, now create border rect. This is probably not going to be run on. So we stopped at game border rect. So this is only going to be in draw window main. So yeah, we're safe. So let's go back to Pygame and then all the way down into game border rect. Yeah. So we're safe on that. Event handler, this is only going to be client side. I don't think we're gonna have an issue with the mixer. I don't think. Yeah, draw window main. This is all in draw window main, so don't have to worry about none of that. Okay, looks like that's it for Pygame. So it really wasn't that much. Then we have Rect. Rect is going to have a lot. 474. Oh, goodness. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, well, we added that check in there. We added that check. Have the draw highlight rect. Didn't I check that one already? Draw highlight rect. Okay, yeah, so that's actually safe. Verified, not. Got an itch on my back. Way in the back. Shit, okay. Verified. Don't eat to check license proceedings. Okay, yeah, so we took care of this one. This one only gets to run. We added in a check for that. So this is all in the initializers. This is going to be a bunch of for game. It's going to be a bunch of them. Okay, so we're still in. Oh wait a second. This is game progression text. Oh, okay. Yeah. Duh. Well, wait a second. Hold up. Self-progression text object is not equal to none. So this is in the progression text setter, and we're setting it. But this isn't actually dealing with a Pygame rect. Well, like when did it throw the error? Didn't it? It threw an error. Anything that we run that tries to access pygame dot like rect or whatever, or pygame dot display, isn't that when we're gonna have the bug associated with this? Yeah, because we had to add it in a check for the X setter because it was self.rect center. It didn't know what a rect was. But wait a second, hold on. So let me go back to game real quick and look at all these. I'm encountering a little bit of confusion about what exactly the rect is and why it would throw the error. So this is, we say get rect, and the get rect is gonna get wrecked would throw an error. Yeah, because that relies on the display. I'm not gonna lie here, I'm a little bit fuzzy on what exactly is gonna throw the error related to Pygame. I'm pretty sure it's like anything that explicitly, like this right here, I feel like this would throw an error because it's calling the get wrecked method, and the get wrecked method is that not a Pygame thing? I thought that this was a Pygame thing. Yeah, so I'm quite certain this would throw an error. Let me fix it by showing a more minimal example that demonstrates the sequence of dependency. Needs to initialize its video system before creating services and working with them. This initialization happens when you call Pygame display set mode. If you try to use getRec without initializing the display, you typically get an error like Pygame error video system not initialized. Gotcha. So yeah, this should throw an error then. Oh, okay, I see. Well, no, this doesn't include this section down here. Oh, I see what's happened is we must have not. Because I feel like this worked, but it shouldn't have, right? Let's run this real quick. Run the server. Run the client. And we're gonna want to see if this section is running. And of course we get the stupid ass waiting for other player bug. I tell you what, man, that bug shows itself like on the first try, damn near every time now. It was like, I remember when I tested to try to find it, and it was like 1 out of 30 chance. But then when I just run it, it shows itself like immediately. It's like the first time. It seems like for the past few test sessions. So I'm gonna be looking for that output. Okay, and I already saw it on the server side. I just saw it. I already saw it. So it's getting run again, and we're not getting an error, which is well, where's, okay, right here, yeah, get wrecked. I would think that this would throw an error, but it's not. I'm confused, honestly, here. I am, I'm kind of at a loss for words here, because I was assuming, since we no longer dealt with the display on the server side, if we didn't initialize it, then how could it be running? How could it work if it's supposed to throw an error, you know what I mean? Let me try to test this real quick, because if I am trying to patch something that doesn't need to be patched, then I'm being an idiot. But if the display set mode is getting run, like, is it getting run somewhere else somehow? Like, is it still being set? Or maybe I'm confused. So we do pygame init, but yeah, the display isn't initialized. Okay. Let's make a test. Test reminders. Now let's import pygame, and then we'll do pygame.display.setMode. It's 800 by 600 or whatever. Isn't that what it's? Pygame display set mode 100 100, and then we need a surface. So let's just copy this. Actually, go to test reminders. We'll just copy their code, and we do have to initialize pygame first, right? Okay. So we have text surface, and then we're gonna get the rect. I want to see if this runs. Okay. And it does. Now if we disable this and then run it again, So it doesn't throw an error. Okay. So Claude is wrong. You don't actually need the Pygame display set mode. I notice AI has a tendency to where if you correct it and tell it something, it will just kind of like believe you. But it's, you know, this is not true. It didn't throw an error. It lets you run the get wrecked. So why was it? So, what does get wrecked exactly? What does get wrecked do exactly? Get wrecked creates a Pygame rect object that matches the dimensions of a surface. So it's a rectangle, gotcha, but whatever it does doesn't actually rely on Alright, so then if we print, just print the rect, so we have the rectangle there, and that does not actually require. So why then does, what was it in card? Why then does card self rect center? Oh, it's not because of. Is it because of the rect itself? It's because this is a different thing. Or is it because of something else? So let me just rewind this here. Let me take this away, and I'm gonna have it as it was. Let's go away from this debugger. Let's go back and run it again, and we're gonna get a crash now. Well, we will. Or we probably will. I'm expecting to get a crash here. Okay, there we go. So it says card object has no attribute rect. Alright, so I was assuming that this was because we didn't have Pygame initialized. But this is actually not related, is it? It's actually not related. So line 88. So whenever it runs this, in what context? So we have the draw one, the draw animation, and when it tries to run the draw animation, it sets the current card X, current card Y, and it's saying that the card object has no attribute rect. Okay, that's because we didn't assign it in setup. So we have setup, and we have it to where images and recs. So assign card images and recs, wherever that is. That's actually from card. Is not being run. Because we said we didn't need to do any of this. See, but and I mean technically, like technically we don't need it to be run, okay? Let's clarify this. We don't need it to be run on the server side. So it won't throw an error. So that's the distinguish. That's how we have to distinguish my thought process. Is it's not gonna throw an error, but it still is dead code. Like anything on the server side that gets a rect for something is basically just it's dead code. It's not going to be used. That rectangle is never going to be drawn on a screen on the server side, so we just don't need it. So that's why I was confused. It doesn't it doesn't rely on the display Pygame display being initialized. So yeah, it actually will work perfectly fine. So we just get out of this. Okay, so we're good. We're on the right track here. So let me go back to Rect, and I have no idea where we left off, honestly. So I'll just start over and go through these again. Change attribute list, client. Let's start at the top. Take my time here, do this right. Okay. Oh yeah. Oops, gotta re-enable that code. See, that's really dangerous what I did. I disabled that code. Like an idiot. So fucking done with this project, dude. So done with it, bro. I just wanted to be over with. I'm so ready to just move on. Have to finish this shit, bro. Alright, so this is all the... Yeah, these are all fine. This is for the initialization of the game objects. And those are not gonna be... Like, that's not gonna be run on the server side. They're already gonna be initialized, like I'm like, well, you know what? Hold up. Wait a second. This does get run on the server side. So, like, couldn't we just not run any of this stuff on the... You know what I mean? Couldn't we just not initialize this if it's... But we're importing, like, before we... We're importing before we set SS or CS. Yeah, because technically this is dead code. Like, we don't need this on the server side. So all this just gets executed for no reason. Like, there's no real reason for it to happen. It's a liability. But I don't want to cause myself trouble, you know, like, for no reason. I don't want to complicate the initializer for, like, no good reason. You know what I mean? Well, then that makes me feel like I could review all these initializers, and anything that has to do with a rect in an initializer, that means I also wouldn't need that to be run. So I could put that behind a SS or CS gate as well. Yeah, so basically, like, starting right here, all these get wrecked lines, we really don't need to run them. Yeah, so I am not sure if I'm gonna do this or not. I don't want to cause myself problems that don't need to be caused, you know what I mean? But I also really don't want any dead code at all. So I think I probably will go ahead and put these behind if SS or CS, but I'm actually gonna stop here and we'll pick this up tomorrow. So I'm getting a little sleepy here. We're gonna put stops here, and I'll put unsure of whether or not I should gate off using SS or CS these init get wrecked. Alright, so we're at, it's 40 minutes. That's actually decent, you know, it's better than nothing, right? So we went to 10 o'clock. Let's say 10:04, because I'm going to go ahead and stage my changes and all that. So, continued disabling server-side Pygame related code. Stopped at line number 409 in game. This is not correct. I actually really like this mix though. The synthwave. This is Jason Lewis. He made a. It's really good. I really like that. Okay, so let's 10:03 to 10:04. We're gonna stage commit blah 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 blah, do all that stuff. So we did 40 minutes. We'll just call it 45. This is from 9:22 to 10:04, which is a total of 2 hours. Alright, so let's copy this, and now we're gonna do cd out to the root of the project directory. We're gonna git branch to make sure we are on the right branch, which we are. We're gonna git add dot to add everything, git commit dash m, paste in our devlog. That successfully was committed. 9 files changed, 35 insertions, 16 deletions, and can't type worth of shit. Git push canasta secondary, so now we're gonna push that. There we go. Now let's make our local. Let's go to programming projects canasta. We're gonna copy, back out, go to the backup. Okay, delete this old one and paste in the new one. Go in and to text to devlog, go to the very end to ensure it is the right date. Yep, it is. So now we'll back up to the folder name and change it to reflect the date of the last local backup. And you see this? Oh, that's dangerous. I'm gonna have to old backup 2023. Get this thing out of here so we don't have to ever worry about accidentally doing the wrong one. Alright guys, well that's it for tonight rather, and